I screwed up the intro. This is take 3. How do you do the easiest thing possible and screw that up? Well, that's how it is. It's like when a guy misses an empty net, you know, he crosses the center ice. It's just him, the empty net, and it's just a gimme putt, and they just miss. And everyone in the crowd goes, oh. That's how I did with the intro. So this is JJ Liberman's welcome to that's what was happening. Welcome to JJ Liberman's GoonCast, the greatest podcast for elite losers. So, as you know, the more words you have to say out of your stupid face, the more likely there's a chance for a screw up. So, when we have these long titles, could be just JJ Liberman's GoonCast and right there, but I am a Renaissance man, and I have interest in linguistics. But it is a beautiful day here. We have a lot to talk about. I was listening to, do you know who Naval Ravikant is? Ravikant, I sent you the thing. The must listen to.
No, I have no idea who it is.
Must listen to on Chris Williamson's podcast. So he's basically the most rational Silicon Valley guy, I think. I don't know. He's Indian. So me aligning him with Silicon Valley makes sense. Like in my brain, he must be some rich tech bro, which I think that's how he got all his money.
He invested in the early stages of Uber, Foursquare, Twitter, Postmates, SnapLogic, and Yammer.
So can't be racist, if I'm right.
Yeah, net worth of $2 billion.
So Naval Ravikant just did a podcast on Chris Williamson. And he is, Chris Williamson, Modern Wisdom, the most rational man in the world. I was telling someone he is the, like Rick Rubin's to left and Andrew Huberman's to right in the way the brain works. I don't know if that's the right way to explain it, but I will explain it in a second. But Naval is right in the middle. So Huberman... No, let's go to Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin is a flower child who really has one of the best brains, in my opinion, for artists. He has an unbelievable creative brain. Now, that's good, but I could just see him going for a walk on the beach. Rick Rubin could go for a walk on the beach and then just all of a sudden walk into the ocean and drown himself. I could see that happening. Just because he was too much, yeah, man, like that. On the flip side, Andrew Huberman, too much of a science nerd. Like everything, there has to be an answer based on, blah, 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 blah. But both I love. Naval is the two of them combined, the perfect rational human being. So I listened to him, and I'm listening to him, and one of the things he was talking about on Chris Williamson is like, you just have to be yourself. Always. I agree. I've never said it in words, but I am to a fault myself. And one of the explanations he said, which I really loved, is that if you're lying, and this is not me giving you, I'm not dictating life. I'm just, there's a nice bow at the end of this bullshit. There's a nice bull that I think that makes sense. But if you fake, and this is most people in my industry, most people in Hollywood, most people like agents, most bookers, most comics around other comedians, most people on the street. If you bullshit your way, if you pretend to be something for other people to like you, they really don't like you for who you are. So you got to be a guy like me who's hated by most because I'm genuine. I'm genuinely me. So that's basically what he says. His explanation is that if you're not you, then how are the people who would like you are going to find you? But the problem is when you're brash, people hate you. And yes, I know there's people right now watching this like, I like you, and they'll go in the comments. They do go in the comments. Like, I like you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's 8 of you. That's 8 of you. What about the gazillions? Might as well lie and be Joy Behar. I don't know why I brought up that pig's name, but for years people like that pig. Who are those? Was she one of the pigs who went up in the space? Did you see that? I don't want to talk about because I know everyone's talking about, but did you see those cows? Just could you imagine being on? If there's ever a time for a space capsule to explode, it's really with those did you see them?
Yeah, I wanted the Challenger Part 2 for sure.
Challenger Part 2.
Yeah, it was Katy Perry, Gayle King, Lauren Sanchez, Aisha Bowe, Amanda Wynn, and Carrie Ann Flynn.
You know where they screwed up? They didn't even put a trans one. That's where who was the one who had a fake face? Sanchez? She has the lips and the pullback.
Yeah.
And you're like, that wasn't even the cause of that's just how you look. And they're, oh my God, what a insufferable. When I watch that clip of them going up there crying and stuff like that, I don't understand The View. Who likes these people? Do you know anyone who likes anyone who watches The View?
Nah, this is like who the fuck watches Chicago Fire? Like shows like that.
Yeah, but it's more worse than when it's only women.
Yeah, and it's like a daytime talk show. I mean, I've never met anyone genuinely that watches it.
That's
ever.
literally what they did with this Challenger. What was it called? The Blue Ocean?
Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, they, unfortunately, I don't want to watch it implode. That was Brandon Lejean. You can email him or DM him. But if that kind of did what, what was it called? The Blue what?
Sorry, I was just
Blue
Origin. Yeah, my bad.
So if the Blue Origin did what the submarine did a few years ago, there would be people, not overt. The internet would have overtly like, yeah, dumb bitches. That's what you get. You dumb. You're not astronauts, which they're not. They claim to be. But there would be a couple people with, that. If you ever watch Rudy, when Rudy gets that play and then sacks the guy, I'm going to be so racist here. Not, who's the Earl Jones? Who's the who had
sacked Georgia Tech quarterback Rudy Allen?
No, but who's the guy who just died who did the voices like this?
Oh, James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones, not James Earl Jones. But can you Google Custodian Rudy movie at the end? So basically, Rudy, and then he gets a sack. And if you don't like that, you're not a real man. You're probably a trans. But if you don't like that moment, you've got your dick tucked between your man parts. You have a mangina and you're trans because how could you not love that moment? But there's that at the end of that, after the sack, the guy who used to play at Notre Dame, who's the custodian now, just gave a small fist pump. It's a very simple fist pump. Just a very simple fist pump. My point is there'd be a lot of people if that space Blue Origin blew up. There'd be a lot of people on the ground that would, be chanting Rudy, and then do you know his name?
I can't find his name.
You can't find Custodian?
I'm looking at a picture of him, but it just keeps opening.
Oh my God, this is unbelievable. What am I paying you?
Charles S. Dutton.
Alive or dead now? This is another thing I like to do. I like to go to people like I watched Who's the Boss growing up, and then you realize, oh my God, so many people are dead from that show. Only one, I think, but still, sad Mona.
He is still alive.
Wow, let's go. Cook it.
74 years old, born in 1951.
He looks so old in that movie. That movie was from the 90s?
Yeah.
How does he look? He looked like he was in 50s in the movies. Man, that sucks. If you're on your way out right now and you're 93, you don't have any teeth, you're sucking on your gums, it must suck to look at someone like me who's 45 and say, I look like that at 20. They look so old. They look terrible. What the fuck they're eating? When you tell me processed foods, all this stuff is no good for you, you're making, the food dies, but everyone looks younger. So what the fuck were they eating in the 60s and the 70s that made a 24-year-old man look like he was in his 50s? What was it? Cigarettes with her, married since 19, having to stay. That's the other thing. That's why men look so old at 28, because they were with some saddlebag cunt for the last 10 years that they'd probably been dating through high school. So they've been together for 15 years. They've gotten married. They can't chase their dreams. She's just put out some kids, unattractive cow now. And yeah, of course, a 28-year-old would look 63 years old if I was banging the same person from, that's the whole thing. They got brainwashed. So yeah, I'll take a higher divorce rate with a bunch of incels and red velvet cake made out of scorpion bodies to look, late 30s in my 40s. I don't know. Did you have anything to add? It seemed like you're going to add something.
Well, yeah, because you were like, you called it. He had just gotten a divorce like right before that movie.
That's real?
Yeah.
Wow.
He also was in prison too, so that's probably what aged him. He was 16 and he was like a prominent amateur boxer, and a guy pulled a knife on him and he beat the shit out of the guy so bad he died, and he did 5 years for manslaughter.
You do 5 years for manslaughter, not self-defense?
No, and he was also 16 years old, which is crazy. And he got out on parole in 20 months for good behavior, but
yeah,
fucking crazy to kill someone at 16 and give him 5 years.
This is how you know that people are, when comedians, we all think we're special, but the truth is most people are more interesting than most of us. That's really what it is. If this guy was a comedian, he'd be more interesting than any comedian I know in this state. Okay, so the whole point of that is that don't get married young. Don't marry the person who's your high school sweetheart. They all end up putting out babies and turning into pigs like Jenny Sachs from Sopranos. Fat cow got Ralphie Ciparetta killed. I am, as we're starting this podcast, as Brendan Lejeune was running 30 minutes late, I did 10 minutes less in the sauna today because I wanted to be here on time. I should have just done the 10 minutes. But the truth is this. I deleted all my dating apps. I think I was telling you, and you don't have to deal with these problems, which you're lucky. You don't have to deal with these problems. But I'll tell you something. I deleted all the dating apps because really, the truth is, who the fuck's left on a dating app that you want to be with? What losers? Only everyone good is taken, and all that's left on dating apps after so many years is just losers. On to the next. Big waste of time. All it is a big, I just deleted it. I don't want to meet people off a dating app. I'd rather just, if I have to live the rest of my life single with dogs and a meat milking machine, that's good. I get the emotion from the dogs and I get the nuts from the meat milking machine. Why would I take someone who I swiped on? In fact, I resent the people swiping left on me. You don't know anything about me. If I meet you in a bar, I don't even want to. I want people who are they sought me out. Is that the term? They sought me out?
Sought you out, yeah.
They sought me out. Go in the DMs. The problem is this, and I know this, I can speak on behalf of men. Women are the downfall of every great man. I think it's like, you could see some guys who are the most impressive human. Tiger Woods, Jeff Bezos, not Bill Maher. Who's the one who Epstein Island? Pfizer. Bill Gates. Mind you, not bad on that one, right? He's a scumbag, but still, Melinda, right? So you're telling me. Let's talk about three great men on paper. I like Tiger and I like Bezos, even though, when you get down to it, probably Bezos has screwed over so many villages in some country. It's not out, but it's happening. Let me tell you also, too, as a man who orders Amazon every day and I just have boxes and boxes and boxes, there are places in the United States that you go that it's like a train track. Nobody lives there. And thousands of boxes, empty boxes from people like me who are too lazy to go out and shop. So he is ruining it. More convenient for me, but ruining society. But women have screwed them over. So you're telling me, I don't understand. If you're going to leave Tiger Woods, Bill Gates, who I hate, but if you're still a bazillionaire, and Jeff Bezos, if there are women who are willing to leave those three men, who the fuck's going to stay with me? Who would want to stay with me? I'm great. I got a decent hog. I'm funny. I have some money sometimes. But who would want to stay with me? I wouldn't. Like, if those people are leaving those guys, what the fuck do I have to offer? We're not supposed to be married long term. You're supposed to do it in phases, hang out, and then move on to the next. Good dating should be a maximum 2-year plan. That's it. And after 2 years, you got to go your own separate ways. And it's like memories. You know, I remember in 2026 to 2028, I had an amazing relationship. These people trying to get in right now, look at this.
It's just a dumb delivery driver who thinks that this is the building.
Unbelievable. Hey, we're recording a podcast. Do not knock or we will call ICE on you. So, you know what I mean? I think if you had a 2-year, you enter in a relation and out, that's the best way to do it. You want to pump out kids I don't know. I don't have the solution, but I would assume dating for maximum of 2 years, a 2-year timeline would be better than long-term dating. Now, you're going to have some exception. I know you're in a long-term relationship, and I guess it's wonderful. So says you. You know, so everyone's like, this is amazing. And then all of a sudden they get divorced and break up. And they're like, 2 weeks ago you said how good it was. But yeah, like even my ex, who I still creep and rub one out to, my ex is going on vacations every month to all over the world. She wants to go see the Northern Lights. She wants to go Turks and Caicos. This bitch loves to spend money. During COVID, we would rent a cottage, an Airbnb every month. She's one of the only women in the world who figured out how to spend my money. I think she put it on, I owe her money, but in theory, she figured out how to spend my money. And so she's got to be with this guy now, and this guy's got to go travel all over the world because he's got great pussy. And yes, traveling all over the world's great if you're a gazillionaire, but most men are not to travel. Yeah, of course. What woman wouldn't want to be on a vacation every other week? To me, I get pleasure working. I don't get these people who like to sit on the beach. I like to sit on a beach for an hour and a half once a year, have an unlimited food budget, like, $200 at a beach club, and get out. And that's it. And as I'm walking out, I have sand everywhere. I'm like, this is why I hate the beach. I don't know people who want to spend all their money going on vacations, going to like all-inclusives and just lay there. That sickens me. You just want to lay by the pool. I like sun. I like putting my feet in the sand and in the grass, but I don't just want to lay there and tan to come back to somewhere where I can't do that anymore and depressed. So that was the other thing. I think I had one last thing. Well, we have to go. We have to hold on. What was the last thing I was? Oh yeah, so I'm not dating. I'm done. I'm dating all the apps and got to wrap it up. Oh yeah. I guess that was the last point. I think if you've made it this far, you could probably see how people think I'm not likable. I should have that screen there so it doesn't look like that. I think that's my biggest problem. I don't think I'll ever become super famous in comedy because when I'm on stage, eventually I'll say something where women go, ugh, who wants to hang out with that guy? I like me. I love it. I wonder why. I actually think I would be the most. If it was me, I was like, yo, I want to hang out with that guy, thinking about me. But most people, and I think that is the key to becoming famous, is like Shane, he's so likable. Everyone, so likable. All the famous people are Louis, so likable. I don't know how to change myself. Again, back to the beginning. Do you just lie and be likable and then realize that, oh, I'm hanging out with this guy, and really he just wants to hang out with me so he can listen to me and my wife fuck while he jerks off in the corner. Or just say it, be unlikable, and just never get that invite. Maybe the lying's best. But that is it. Today, I think we did what, 20
minutes right now.
20 minutes on the nose. We did it again. Thank you guys coming out. This is the GoonCast. We'll be back next week.